Now I've got a great pattern for you today, folks. Well, I don't know if it's great, I've never used it, but it was fun to tie and it looks pretty darn cool. The pattern is called the North Fork, and I found it in Bruce Staples' Trout Country Flies. I haven't reviewed this book yet, but I'm loving it. It's a great book. I'll put a link to it in the description if you want to check it out. So this pattern was created by Stan Yamamura in the 1960s, and he named it after one of the stretches he fishes out on the Henry's Fork, so it is a big western dry fly. He said sizes for this thing are 8 to 16, and 8 is a pretty big dry fly. I'm going to tie it into 14 because that's probably what I'll fish it in around here on the East Coast. Now, one technique a new tyer might get out of this video is to how to reinforce a Peacock Herl body, particularly in a dry fly. In a nymph, you could just use a wire, but in a dry fly, you probably don't want to use wire, so we're using thread. And one side note, I usually only tie a couple of flies when I'm making a video, one to practice and then one to film. But this one, I just finished tying up 6 of these. I started a new brook trout fly box, and these are the first 6 flies in it. Now, I probably won't use them for a few months, but I think these are going to be great flies in the Shenandoah Mountains this spring. So there it is in the vise, the North Fork, a Stan Yamamura fly from the 1960s. Now, quick critique on this one. That tail I think is a little long for a dry fly. We'll see if we can't do a little bit better on this one. And he said sizes for this are 8 to 16. Now 8 is a pretty big dry fly. I'm going with a 14. That's a standard length barbless dry fly hook. And this is a 52 denier black thread from the Fly Smith. So just catch that in anywhere up in the front half. Bring it back here to the start of the bend. And our tail, just a duck slip, dyed yellow. Not a very big slip and doesn't even need to be that pretty. This one certainly isn't. So let's try to catch this in a little bit shorter than the one we had in there a minute ago. So how about right there? We'll see what this does for us. A little loose wrap right there. We'll take a look at it. Okay, that might still be long, but you know what? I'm going with it. Couple extra wraps right there, and I'm gonna leave this duck in with a few loose wraps going up to where I want the front of my body to be. And really, I'm just thickening that body up a little bit. It's probably not going to be a big deal. And now for the body, I'm taking 3 strands of Peacock Herl. These are the tips, fairly brittle, so I'm going to catch it in a couple inches back from those tips, because this, these are pretty brittle. So take it, well, let's catch it back here to the start of that tail. You can probably break those off. Now, if you wanted to, you could have left a long tag at the beginning, but what I like to do is just create a little dubbing loop. Even though we're not dubbing this body, I'm creating a little loop right here. I'm going to leave my thread kind of right in the middle, and I'm going to park these 2 strands of thread right here off to the side with my magnet. And now I've got 3 strands of Herl. You probably don't need 3, but I usually do 3 on a fly like this because you got a fair chance that one of them's going to break on you. Just watch the point of your hook, and my thread is in the middle so that these won't really start spreading out on me. I'm using that thread right there to kind of hold them together. See that? And I'm nicking the point of my hook. Got to be a little careful there. Okay, I think our body, I probably don't want it quite 2/3. But I think we're going to be fine right there. So 2 or 3 wraps to secure that Herl. Now we can snip the excess. And now I'm going to counter wrap these 2 strands of thread. If you were using a thicker thread, 1 strand would probably be fine. But this is a 52 denier, it's pretty thin. So you could also do this with wire, but that's just 1 extra material. And if you do it with thread, well, you're already using thread, so it doesn't add anything to the material list. So a couple wraps to secure that. Now we'll snip this excess. Now we're going to take a small to medium-sized tuft of white calftail and put it in your stacker if you want to. If you've ever tried stacking calftail, you know it doesn't stack that easily, but it does a little bit. And you can always pull any wayward fibers out if you want with your fingers. Okay, so let's catch this in. Probably not as long as the tail, but maybe halfway down it, maybe a little past the bend of the hook. So spin my thread clockwise, cord it up, We'll do a pinch wrap. We'll get 2 wraps and then check it. Okay, I think that's going to be fine. Now I can spend a few more wraps going back to really secure this. And these are medium to tight wraps right there. And I'm going to try to snip this at a little bit of an angle. Doesn't always work, but if you can, it'll help you keep this eye a little bit cleaner. So let's take our thread up here right behind it, and I might end up having to singe some of those off when we're done. Take a look at it. Am I still gonna be able to get a tippet through there? Yeah, I think so. We'll probably be fine. Now up front, just some brown dry fly hackle, and I've stripped a little bit off on the side that's gonna wrap closest to the hook first. Sometimes that helps you get a little bit cleaner wraps. Sometimes it doesn't make any difference. But I want this to be pretty heavily hackled. So 5 or more wraps if I can get them. All right, this is a long feather. I don't need my hackle pliers, but let's wrap it up and see what it's gonna look like. All right, I think that's 5. Let's catch this off. Okay, I've got 2 wraps holding that feather in. And before I snip it, because it would risk unraveling on me, I'm gonna pull everything back and then take a few wraps here just to make room for my whip finish. Okay, now let's try to whip finish this before any of those barbs spring back forward. Just kind of zigzag it through here. And I've trapped a couple going forward, but we're gonna be fine. Snip this thread and this excess feather right here. And any of these wayward ones right here. We could probably snip these or singe them, but just take a look at your eye. And if you're going to be able to get your tippet up through that eye after you put head cement on it, I think we're good to go. So that's it, my friends, a North Fork. Pretty cool looking fly, I think. Can't wait to get out there and try it this spring. So I appreciate you watching. Y'all take care, and we'll see you next time.